Welcome to Kump. We are here watching President Trump respond to an interesting question about Iran. Let's take a look.
I would.
And why say that you're unhappy to sign it if it's Iran and their proxies who have threatened to retaliate against you and your team by killing you guys for taking out Soleimani?
Well, they haven't done that, and that would be a terrible thing for them to do. Not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That would be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And by
I'm not sure that's how this works.
Right.
As much as I don't want them to do, I mean, God forbid, the Iranians try to take out Trump. I think it's ill-advised. I think it would be appropriate if the United States, responded, with obtuse force. Is that a thing, obtuse force? If I was the president, I would say I'm going to give you obtuse force from here to the afterlife.
That's a time where you want to use the carrot as a gun, right?
Yeah, the sticks and bones. But I don't know that the president can leave a note if he's killed. I don't know if that's how I don't think the Pentagon can it's like they get a box and it's open in the event of my death, and it just contains a bunch of puzzles and maps and war plans written in crayon. I don't think you can do that. It's not. I don't think it's one of those stupid Knives Out movies that they make with Daniel Craig, where this bunch of I'm dead. Well, now follow these mysteries. It's like you can't do that. Will JD Vance follow the orders in that box? Perhaps it might.
Is he loyal like that? Is JD Vance like?
I mean, he does. He just seems to do whatever he's told. Mm-hmm. Go to Greenland and look like an ass. He does. Go. Tell him you're going to conquer Greenland. Whatever. He's. Didn't he get the Pope killed?
He gave the Pope TB or something.
Yeah, he gave the Pope some kind of venereal infection through his hand. They got off a doorknob. He's the I don't know, the Charlie Chaplin of politics. Charlie Chaplin was getting into weird situations. I guess it's possible he'll just go, well, here's the box that I have to level Iran. I have to turn it into a garden of death.
It'd be funny if he got to the end, if it actually happened, and JD Vance opened the instructions and it was just like bomb America. And it's like, okay, I guess I have to do it.
His wife's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm under the pressure I'm under. Look, you're the president. I can do whatever you want. It's not that simple. He knows. He knows.
He's up there watching over me.
Trump, it is an interesting thing. People go, why'd you stand? But there's no standing up. I mean, you can, but it just means you leave. Mm-hmm. Trump's the kind of guy where it's like, you either leave or you do whatever you're told. Like, there's no I respect him because you have the backbone. There's none of that. It's just full compliance. And it's like, why a bunch of yes men. It's like, well, and I guess the people, you could argue that, when you have a situation like that, it might seem more noble to be a worm and to go along with it because, who is going to come and replace me? And it's a valid thing. The monsters Trump had in his first term might have pushed back on this. Mm-hmm. Whatever, this, this cavalier. We haven't attacked Iran directly yet in America.
No, and he's being very coy about whether we will.
Very coy. You're right. Yeah. Coy is the word. Israel. Sorry, is specifically Netanyahu. Was that Netanyahu? The way I said. Weird Al Netanyahu. He's doing everything he can to get us to just bomb and level, the entire Persian Riviera, or whatever you want to call it. And Trump is not resisting. I wouldn't call it resistance. It's kind of a hitherto going on. There's kind of a little seductive dance where it's like he's like, maybe. Well, let's see what other offers I get for Saturday night. Let's see who else wants to court me. But, it's a strange, I don't know what the strategic benefit of any of this is. I don't know what the commercial benefit is, except for certain people who might have known ahead of time that we were going to do this.
It just seems like all downside for us. You know?
All downside, no downs. Well, I shouldn't say. we still have a warning.
What if Ayatollah Khomeini reached out right now?
It's not Khomeini, it's Khamenei or something.
Okay.
Khomeini was the original one who died in like 89. And then the new one is the Ayatollah, I believe, Khamenei? It's very similar. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that guy changed his name to be more similar to Khomeini, which would be. I mean,
is this like Pope names where you all like?
Well, Pope is like
you pick from like 5 names.
I don't know. It's a good point. Well, I think Pope could do whatever he wants. I think a lot of popes just try to align themselves. Popes get very insecure because I want to be like a great pope, so I'll name myself this, and be aligned to that guy. But you're always the Pope. And you always forget that. I would name myself, I would just be Pope Ray. Well, no, you gotta change your name. Well, my full name is Raymond, so let's go by Ray.
What's your Pope name? Pope.
Yeah. Pope Jesus Christ. what if I actually come with Pope Jesus Christ the first? Is that doable? Can I do that? I would say I'm Pope Jesus Christ the first. Don't get it confused. I am not that Jesus Christ. But I'm the first Pope named Jesus Christ.
I mean, there are so many Latino Catholics who just name their kids Jesus.
If
they can do it, why can't the Pope?
Yeah, I'm Pope Jesus. I mean, it does take the sting off of it. Because, I don't know, in Italy, I think, at least in the English world, the British-speaking world, we say Jesus. So when I hear Jesus, you're right, but it is Jesus. But I don't tend to make the connection all the time. But you're right. It's just so. I mean, maybe if we said, I'm Pope Jesus, and then everyone's like, it's fine.
And then you just start slowly slipping in
Pope Jesus.
Pope Jesus.
Jesus, what's the difference? I'm not saying I'm God. I'm God's messenger on earth. This is why you're getting it twisted. So I don't know if that's how the Ayatollahs work. But we are on the brink of World War III. Maybe.
So what if the Ayatollah Khomeini reached out to Trump right now and just, started... And
just said subscribe to the Kump podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know what Trump would do.
Something nice like that.
I think it would be smart if he said, hey, Trump, let's break bread. Let's take things down a notch and subscribe to the Kump podcast on YouTube and wherever platform you're listening on. Because I know you are, because it's great. And he'll go, don't kill me or I'll bomb you. Right. But this Kump podcast is topical, it's lively. You're listening to it right now. Subscribe to it. It costs you nothing, Trump. And then they also have a Patreon. He's like, Patreon, I'll bomb you. Like, Patreon.com/RayCump. You get an extra episode every week for $5 a month. That's not bad. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, how about you leave us alone? We're not making a nuke. Even if we were, we're not. Now we're not. So it's fine. This is the kind of situation now where we're like, you could just stop bombing them now and it's probably fine. Even if you were, I said last week I want them to have it, and I stand by that because I want anyone who we might attack, I'd rather they have one. I don't think it's ever good. Here's the thing: our military, I want them to be as strong as possible for a reasonable amount of money. To be clear, I think we spent too much. But whatever. But I don't want anyone to be more powerful than us. I get that. But it's too tempting to have all these, available. It's like when you're trying to go on a diet, right? And then someone in the house just brings home cupcakes every day. Delicious. I'm not being a big fan of cupcakes, but whatever. Gummy worms. I love those gummy worms from Haribo, right? And when someone brings those around, it's just you wouldn't want those just sitting there while you're trying to not eat, right? In the same way, these generals, these defense contractors, and these deep state operators, and these banks, and people who run the banks, whatever, they just love a country that doesn't have a nuke, where they can just bomb. And it can't be Europe for some reason. No one ever goes after Sweden. I'm not saying we should, but it just seems like, they don't fit it. I'm not even saying it's all Islamophobia. It's just a narrative. It goes back to the Middle Ages. I get it. It's convenient. There's no Swedish narrative where we're like at war with the Crusades and all that. Like, it doesn't fit.
That's a good point. Like, the most dangerous, the worst place for a country to be in is like almost having a nuke.
Right.
You know, like if you're not even close to having one, if you don't even have any of the materials, you're a little bit, you know, then you can make the case this is a small country, you shouldn't be bombing it. What are you doing?
Right. Like
if they have a nuke, then they're impervious to certain things.
I wonder though.
But it's that phase of being almost there.
How did India get one? India was a big country, right?
Right.
And I don't think anyone wanted India to have a nuke. I don't think the British wanted them to have a nuke. But they ended up just getting one. We weren't looking that hard, I guess. I don't know. That's a while back. Israel got it, I think, because they stole uranium from us. Good for them. Well done, boys.
Props.
Yeah, props. But if Sweden was trying to develop a bomb, I don't know that we know until they tested it. Because who's looking at Sweden, really? Are we really devoting NSA, echelon and and CIA, heavy assets towards Sweden? Imagine being on the Sweden desk. It's got to be one. I mean, how many countries are there? Like 260 something, right? And imagine being one of on the Sweden desk. I mean, there's reasons to have it there. I get it, but it's just gotta. If you go on a date. And then you're not supposed to tell anyone anything, sure. But when you go on, if the girl's hot, you're telling her about stuff. You're trying to get it in.
You're hinting at least.
You're hinting, hey, I can't say anything about Russia. Whoa, let's get some sizzling fajitas. They sizzle. I love it. So anyway,
I would only a girl. I would only tell the one. What I do.
The one?
At the desk. Oh, I'm not even supposed to mention the desk.
Wait, the one? What do you mean the one? What does that mean? Tell the I
just imagine the guy holding a kind of like a carrot, going I would only tell a girl I was really serious about what I do.
About how I killed those children. I poisoned that well. But you gotta understand, we were trying to get. The local Catholic Church diocese to let us use their one of their churches as a missile base, and so we had to show we meant business. It's all real politic, It's all geopolitical. I'm just saying. So Iran. Look, did we overthrow their democratically elected, prime minister Mossadegh when he nationalized their oil back in 53? I think it was. Yes, we did. Was it because BP, on behalf of BP, the British, Churchill actually, I believe, he was out of power at that point, but was he back in power? I think he was back, he had a gap, but he was back in power, and he basically, they wanted him, but we don't have the manpower for this right now. I'm going to pawn off on I believe it was Eisenhower at the time. I'm going to pawn off the dumb Eisenhower and his stupid ministry. You think Eisenhower had that great speech everyone loves to bring up where he's like, and beware the military-industrial complex because they tricked me into fucking overthrowing Iran. They're really crafty.
We should really just have, I feel like we need a holiday or something, like a national day that's recognized where any senator, any congressperson of any party can just come out and say what another country has on them, basically.
Compromise,
and they won't be judged for it.
Right. That's a great idea. That's a great point you bring up. Because it comes up, there was a, I want to get to that in a little bit. That's a great idea. When we get to that next topic, that's actually going to be maybe a useful thing that we could maybe sell to somebody. I love it. Why can't you sell political ideas, by the way? We have if I have an idea for how the government could run a little better, how come I can't make a little money? Everyone else makes money. We're trying to make some money. We're trying to get some nice things. I want some baubles. Every other podcaster has baubles. Where's my baubles?
I think you explained this to me before, but what's a bauble? A bauble?
It's any kind of trinket, expensive trinket that's just nice. Like a nice watch would be a bauble, wouldn't it? Or does a bauble have to be just like a jewel? I don't know.
It seems like like it would have to be useless, like a diamond egg or something.
Right, like a Fabergé egg, I think would count as a bauble. I love a bauble. You know? I was watching that Michael Shannon guy or something on real, home architecture. He's like, "Here's my marble apple I bought in Florence, Italy." He's like, "It's my favorite thing I own. It's a treat to myself." And he was like, he seems to live a relatively modest. He has a very nice apartment in Brooklyn, but like relatively modest life. I'm sure just for the video, whatever. But he's just like, here, it's like an apple, a bite taken out of it. It's like, this is the best thing I own. It's a marble apple. That's a bauble. Oh man. What? So yeah, I mean, we overthrew Mossadegh, and then we put the Shah in power. Right, Reza Pahlavi, I believe his name was. His dad was the Shah, and like I said, I don't think it goes. It only goes back a couple times. Like, I think his dad was like put in by the British. This whole thing was very, ad hoc. Persia was a great empire for centuries. I don't know what happened during the Middle Ages, but like this Iranian Pahlavi regime doesn't go back to Persia. It's not that old. But we put the Shah in power. He was pretty brutal, but also, if you had money, it was pretty nice. If you weren't that Muslim, you seemed to like it. The people who were really Muslim didn't like it, because I guess he would beat them for wearing burqas. I don't think you should be forced to wear a burqa, but I also don't think you should beat people for wearing them. Yeah. And I'm not saying he did, but the Savak, I believe the Savak, that's what his secret police were called. They were pretty brutal from what I've heard. They did a lot of Abu Ghraib type stuff, perhaps. But people didn't report on it as much. And then they had the Iranian Revolution, in 79, and they took the hostages, and it was bad. You shouldn't do that. It's, wrong. But they didn't kill any of them, and that's pretty unique. Not completely unique.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's not completely. It's not the only time it's ever happened, but it's pretty decent. Yeah. So decent. There was like 54. They had for over a year. That usually doesn't happen. Usually at least one or two get winged.
Did they do any weird sexual stuff to them?
I don't think that, but they did kind of do mock executions and make them think they were going to get. So it's not perfect. Yeah. They weren't total gentlemen. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, if we're going to make it out like they're the villains of all villains. They're James Bond Spectre or whatever the hell. They're the army of Thanos. What does Harry Potter have? The Wildings? The Wild Wizards? I don't know what that book is. Was it Severus Snape and his Wild Wizards? Are those the villains?
There is a Voldemort.
Right. What's his crew called?
He's a bit of a wild wizard.
What's his crew called, though?
I don't know if he has a crew.
I've seen snippets of it. They yell at each. There's people who infiltrate. There's enemies. Yeah. There's other people. There's bad guys in the books. It's not all. It can never just be one guy.
His face is glued to some guy's face at some point.
I'd love to make a thing. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think that was in the first one.
That's very interesting. So we just literally glued it. I'd love a villain like that. I'd love to be a villain and it's just me. Or whatever. I mean, maybe people wouldn't be afraid. But you just go around and you're getting your ass kicked some of the time, but it's always you. And you're just like, I'm just here. And you just won't go away. That would be the worst villain, right? Like some guy, like if a genie can make you immortal, but not like that powerful, but you're always just bothering people. And sometimes you take them out and sometimes you don't. You hurt them and they kill you and execute you, but you come back. And they can always deal with you, but you're just always a nuisance. Right. That to me is the greatest thing, the worst thing. But people act like Iran is the worst thing. I don't think Iran. I think Iran. Look. I mean, they overthrew the CIA. They called the embassy like a nest of CIA vipers or something, which sounds about apropos. It seems. I'm not saying I'm on their side. I know they're the best people. I know women. Some of the women. A surprising amount of these women do want to wear the burqa. I don't know what the ratio is. I know they say people are getting sick of it. The pendulum swings.
There was some of these women are definitely as intense as their husbands. Yeah. Like about the religious stuff. Sure. Like I was reading something earlier about some girl got assaulted or something. Yeah. And the wives of the guys who did it came out and were like, she kind of had it coming. Right.
Look, I mean, it's very messy when you. There was a degree to which people don't want to be dominated, whatever the hell. There's a pendulum. right? Like even in America, we had tradcaths for a while, right?
Yeah.
But the people who are doing tradcaths used to be communists, and now they're like, I don't know. Now they work in, in some kind of, in CIA black sites, just carving people up. Is people, this horseshoe theory, right? And I'm just saying, but like when you try to make the horseshoe, you're like people sometimes, I'm just saying you can't go, I mean, we said this in Iraq that they were gonna like throw laurel wreaths at us, right?
Right.
They literally said that they were gonna throw pink roses at us and put us through a gate. I don't know if they have a gate or an arch. Basically, I remember on like the McLaughlin group or something, or Crossfire, back when Tucker Carlson was on Crossfire, and they'd be like, "They're gonna put us through an arch, like in Washington Square Park, and there's gonna be pink roses everywhere, and they're gonna be like, good job, Saddam was a bastard."
Right.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, people only do that under threat of death. Like they only celebrate you and gas you up like that if they think you're gonna send them. If they think you're gonna feed them to a lion,
right? Also, like if you here's the thing: you can't like put a guy in power, and like I mean, they know people know more than you think they do. They know you put Saddam in the first place, and you would use them to attack Iran.
Right? Yeah.
They know we're messing around. No one in Iran's gonna be like, "Oh, we love America." Mm-hmm. They might not like the mullahs, but no one loves us. So I don't know what the plan is, but it's fine. And are they? Do they want a weapon? Yeah, maybe they do. I'm sure they want one. I would want one, right? Does it mean they're going to use it? Probably not. They're not suicidal. Probably. I think it's the biggest misnomer. This idea that any leader has ever been suicidal, I think is crazy. The people who get into charge never want to just like go. I mean, don't show me some stupid terrorism thing the CIA actually did. But what even they did, let's assume they didn't do it, right? Okay. When is it ever? Saddam is the closest thing, and he didn't have it. The crazy thing about Saddam was like, give us the weapons. No, I don't got them. We'll let the inspectors in. I mean, what was the thing? He kept saying like he kicked them out at some point, right? The inspectors,
right?
I'm not sure. Maybe he thought they were going to plant weapons.
That makes sense.
That's an interesting thought I just had. You know why? Because he took for granted how much we cared. He probably did think, they're probably planting weapons. Because I don't got weapons. I got rid of them like years ago.
Right.
And he probably thought, they're going to plant them. And the funny thing is, we didn't plant them. We should have. And we didn't care.
That's right. We didn't even bother planning them once we got there.
And people are like, there's no weapons here. Interesting. Well, you were sure we had them. Yeah. Maybe we were. Well, is anyone going to be accountable? What does that mean? What do you mean accountable? No. Is that a real question? No. Like, it's an opposite. They're going, they'll see. Like, no one gives a shit. Anyway. So should we go after Iran? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's in our interest. But again, it never seemed like it was. Are we going to get cheap oil? I don't think we will. Is China going to get involved? I mean, they're getting cheap oil now because of the sanctions. They got a deal and the sanctions. It's all very cavalier.
Right. The polls are saying, obviously, you can only trust polls so much, but it is saying that a lot of Trump supporters specifically support it, which is interesting because I've always kind of associated them more with like an anti-war part of the Republican Party.
And they seem to be supporting.
But I guess they're just like sleepers. They just get activated.
Well, yeah, you would think that they would be like America first, right? And so like, hey, look, this is Israel. Something. I'm not saying they should be, going after Israel. Israel, go to hell. I'm not saying they should be saying, but it's surprising the extent to which they're like doing it for Israel. And they're not concerned at all that we're doing this on behalf of a foreign country, and it's not really our interest. You would think that would go hand in hand with the whole MAGA thing.
Right.
Yeah, the excited. We don't want to, American jobs, get these immigrants out. There's too many immigrants coming in, which, look, it's a problem. And I don't know if they're solving it. Whatever. I mean, you could argue maybe if you just make ICE wear, wear a uniform. Why can't ICE wear a uniform?
Right.
Just, someone brought up the mask thing, or people are doxing them. Okay. You can't get a shirt that says ICE on it? I had a shirt that said the morgue symbol on it. I wore it everywhere because I liked it. It was one of those like Under Armour type shirts, and it just fit really well. So I wore it to the movie theaters and everything. People would stop me, can I get a shirt like that? I'm like, no. You have to work at the morgue. You tell me ICE can't get shirts? They can get shirts. Why are they not wearing shirts? Like, why are they dressed in flannels like they're going to a Soundgarden concert? Enough. I'm not saying don't deport people. I mean, whatever. This is the game. But like, just dress up like a cop.
Yeah.
Cop. I mean, I get sometimes you gotta infiltrate, but I mean, like, you're not blending in. Yeah, you guys look like you're like the most militant, Milo Kylie fan group I've ever seen.
Yeah, they look like secret police. Like,
yeah. I mean, stop fetishizing about being secret police. That's just you're just too try hard. If you were secret police, you'd be secret police. None of you guys really would make the cut in the secret police. You're too big. You're too. You need people who are like sneaky to be in the secret police. You know, like the German, like what's his name in Inglourious Bastards? You know.
The
German guy, the Austrian guy, whatever his name is. You know. The milk. Give me some milk, please. You know, that's what you want in the secret police. You don't need some burly friggin' psychopath who's like watching Dr. Mike on YouTube going, how do I get my gains? Anyway.
It'd be funny if like in a week there's like a viral video of you just getting the shit beat out of you by ICE. Yeah. You're just getting dragged into a van.
I think they could beat me up. Don't get me. I'm not calling them pussies or nothing. I just don't know why. But you guys aren't secret. Yeah. You guys are very Sylvester Angle. Just wear an ICE shirt, and then you take away the argument, right? Mm-hmm. Why are you giving people the like? Stop trying to get the Supreme Court to like shut you down. On the counterpoint, the people on the left or whatever should be telling do the opposite. Hey, shut your mouths. They're doing your work for you. They're doing it. Stop doing it in such a cartoonish way. It seems like everything is cartoonish nowadays. Nothing seems real. No one seems to know what they're doing, or maybe they do, but it just seems chaotic.
Right.
Anyway, but my point is, I don't remember what my point is. But we have what's this? So speaking of people who want to go into Iran, what's this? Can we bring up the? This is Tucker with the. So Ted Cruz. I thought Ted Cruz was not dead, but like, am I wrong here? Wasn't his like political career over or something? And he seems to be coming back lately. I thought like after he ran for president and embarrassed himself, that he would like be gone, but he's still there.
Yeah.
And so, which ones? This is the right. Okay. Where's the one where he talks about the famous clip? By the way, this one, yeah.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not even...
Well, I think that's actually true. But look, I mean, it is sheep shot. Oh, I mean, slightly, but you should have been able to go at least like 70 million.
Yeah.
90. All right, 90.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, you should have no idea. You should have no idea.
Yeah.
Never say you have no idea. You're always better off guessing and like, it's double that. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. But I have no idea. Affirming you have no idea is never a good idea, in my opinion. Also, I think he missed an opportunity. And this is assuming I'm Ted Cruz in this case. Ask me how many people live in Iran.
Do you know how many people live in Iran?
Well, a lot more than I'm about to. Tell you that much. How great would that line be? I mean, it's evil, but like, why is no one, if you're going to be.
But it's dark.
Why does everyone choose to be like, I mean, the thing, but Trump is the only guy who like actually goes for the panache anymore. Most of these guys are happy to be these banal, evil bureaucrats.
Right.
I don't know, you don't deserve to live. It's like, put some English on it.
This is something that Christopher Hitchens used to do,
Right.
or it's similar to something Christopher Hitchens used to do in debates, where he would say, I think it was with Charlton Heston, where he was basically talking about during like the Gulf War, where he asked him, he was like, "Can you name like the countries that border
Your children?"
Iraq? Right?
No, it's touche.
Can you name the countries that border Iraq or something?
Let me try. Iran, Syria, Jordan. Let me see, and perhaps Turkey. Can I get a little Turkey?
Let's see. Yeah, pretty good actually. Yeah, Turkey in the north.
Oh, Kuwait. Obviously, Kuwait missed that. Yeah. Let's see. Let's bring us up. Yeah.
Saudi Arabia. Did you say Saudi Arabia?
No, of course I should have said that too. I'm a dummy.
No, but you got most of them.
Oh yeah, Saudi Arabia's a big one. Yeah.
But it's like I feel like that's a somewhat better version of the quizzing thing.
Yeah.
Because like that actually is really relevant to like
Right.
foreign.
We were
affairs.
saying we were talking about this in the Patreon this week, and I forget for a different reason. And I was saying, I'm like, I know these things, and then but map stuff, it just leaves my head immediately. I just can't retain. I can retain other information, but map stuff, I always forget. I always think like, is England on top of France or below France? I just can't remember stuff. I mean, I should know. I know the reasons why it would be there, but I just can't. It's just my whatever. So we go. But yeah, so and what did Charles Heston do? Pull a gun out?
They threatened to kill himself.
you British ponce. I'll have you.
But yeah, like I feel like that's a little bit less petty. Like ask it the population number. That's a little bit of a cheap question because like who knows who off the top of their heads knows the exact population of most countries. You know?
Well, look, I mean, I do think. Realistically, I think
about the country,
realistically, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. I do think that senators at one point, and maybe it's a pipe dream, knew a little more than the average idiot.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
They were just like, no, we actually are. I'm like, isn't he on like maybe he's not on the Foreign Relations Committee. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not on any kind of defense committee. I'm pretty sure he's on a couple committees. They're kind of important. Like, you have to make laws.
Right.
These guys are all like, I think they are. Like, he's probably a lawyer, which is, I've met a lot of dirtbag lawyers in my life, and they don't seem that smart to me. But it's better than, like, not doing that.
Yeah.
You think they can retain information at least, even if you cheated, you copied off something.
Right.
I don't know, whatever. It seems like, is the population number a cheap shot? Again, you should have said, like, I don't know, 200 million.
Yeah.
It's 90. Well, it's less than, so less. This is what you should do. That's the best move. I correct myself. Always overstate it. Yeah.
I do think this was a really good interview in general, though.
No, there's some other clip. Yeah, that was a great interview. Yeah.
This is your favorite part.
Yeah.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that.
What? I don't understand. And Tucker did a great job of kind of calling them out and like questioning like AIPAC, and we'll get to that in a minute. Maybe
I gotta say that confused dog thing, it annoys the hell out of me usually.
Oh, Tucker's tactic.
But when it's actually directed at like somebody in a real position of power, it can be really fun.
It's fun because you kind of like Tucker can be a fun guy.
Yeah.
Even he though doesn't challenge. I mean, he might have his reasons or his tactics, and Israel is a very touchy subject. Let's just say, and you're not allowed to question it a lot. I mean, they don't throw you in jail, but I mean, you get a lot. You get called on names if you ask questions too much. But like it does seem like a strange instinct for a Republican senator from Texas. To go, I want to get into Congress. Why? To make sure to get more cows for your state, or to make sure you don't have droughts. Or what else happens in Texas? To make sure the rodeo gets funded. Oh no, to make sure Israel. This doesn't seem like it can be a concern for Texas.
Right.
I know the Christians, and somehow this idea came along that like. Christianity is tied. Like we've always been the best friends of Jewish people. which is, I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't be. I'm not saying, but it seems that's not really. I mean, if you think about the most time of Christian, we are Christians, like the Crusades.
Right.
It wasn't really a great time for Jews.
Yeah.
Richard the Lionheart, that Crusader king that everyone loves to talk about, he kicked him out of England, and it wasn't right. I'm just saying, this idea that, well, of course I would. It seems to not. I'm not saying it's such a bad instinct. I'm just saying maybe it's not the real instinct. Maybe a little bit more going back and forth. I don't know. It doesn't make anyone evil. It just makes them. It's more just why are we not questioning it?
Right.
It's their job to try to scheme, any country, lobby, whatever. Mm-hmm. Why is it? But
Yeah, why does it have to be your priority as a...
Sure, but also, if I question you, why is it because I'm a Christian. Right. And that's what? This whole Bible, it's just, people take it for granted. All these people are maniacs, because the whole thing is that, at least with these evangelicals, that, in Israel needs to be run by the Jews so that, something to do with that when the apocalypse happens, or for the trigger the apocalypse. They want the apocalypse. And it sounds crazy. They go, wow, these guys are maniacs. And then you have to explain why the neocons are all into this, stuff. And then you and I'm realizing maybe that's just a smokescreen. No one else seemed to have that priority until 20 years ago. But, I don't know. Let's see. What's the other clip he had? Because he talks about something with the third thing we're talking about, right?
I'm hardly the one I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel...
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship.
Is AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen,
we're really bad. They're clubs. They're the Keystone Cops. So they can't do nothing.
Right.
To Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of...
That's the beginning of that clip. Do we have the thing where he's talking about... what was it? It was something... It was... God, I'm blanking.
Oh, I think this is it.
From Israel. Israel shares... The Mossad is one of the best intelligence sources on the planet.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to love the Mossad. I screwed that up. I used to love... I've always been into intelligence stuff. I used to read about spies. And I love it. The Mossad, they got Eichmann, right? They went and got Eichmann and Eli Cohen, all this stuff. I was 20 years ago, I was into this stuff.
Right.
It's fun. I mean, it was romantic. Even Munich, they went and just took all these guys out and just killed them. That being said, I'm primed to be Mossad, they're really good. But it's October 7th. It seems really big. It's look. Does everyone screw up occasionally? Sure. But I mean, it's now we're in the post screw up time. Maybe I would make the case, hey, we're getting a Mossad intel. Also, we did the Iraq War, because the whole people make the argument, well, it's really hard for us, our spies, to go into the Arab world and whatever. And so we have Israel does it for us. Well, okay, so what about those weapons? Man,
right.
The WMDs in Iraq, nothing. Mossad was blank on that. All right. I'm just saying.
That's what makes them so good.
Why did 9/11 happen?
Their ability to give us information and withhold it.
Yeah, 9/11 happened. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah. Hey, guys, next time maybe stop 9/11.
He's just referring to all the dirt they have on him.
These really good heroes. You wouldn't think Israelis make great hero sandwiches. People associate them more with pita sandwiches, but they have some delis over in Tel Aviv that make phenomenal deli hero sandwiches, 6-foot heroes.
He's like, the Mossad is the best intelligence agency in the world. Every time I have sex with a man, they're right there taking pictures of
Well, that's the thing. We have the thing where he's talking about it's a weird. I'll admit it's a strange angle for Tucker to take. But he's talking about how. Is everyone, they're our friends. Do we spy on? Is that what he's talking about here? Let's go back to that.
The enemies of Israel, the people who hate Israel, they all hate us. It's almost a perfect overlap. And so if we tried to recreate, if we're just trying to defend America, we tried to recreate the national security benefits of our alliance with Israel, it would cost, I don't know, 30 billion, 300 billion.
So can you elaborate? And again, I'm going into this as someone who's always liked Israel and still does. But I also think at this point, given where we are, it's fair to ask rational questions about what the benefits are.
Good.
So does Mossad share all of its intelligence with us?
Oh, probably not, but they share a lot. We don't share all of our intelligence with them, but we share a lot. It's a close alliance.
Do they spy domestically in the United States?
Oh, they probably do, and we do as well. And friends and allies spy on each other. And I assume all of our allies spy on us.
I assume all of our allies, develop intricate sexual blackmail on us. Yes, they do they use honeypots to gain compromise on like virtually every member of our government? Sure, as one does when you're allies. I'm sure the Swedes also do that.
Right.
It's just it's the wrong move. Well, I do think some of the tactics, probably aren't great.
Well, when the Swedes do it, it's actually Mossad pretending to be Swedes.
Yeah, that's a big part of the game. You be a good spy. That's like rule one. Like rule one of spying is like, who are you? I'm something else.
Yeah.
I work for the IRS.
Right.
Give me that info. It's basically that, and also like, hey, no, she's 18. Oh, you're psych.
Right.
That's just the whole spy game, apparently. That's how you become the best spies in the world. You just go, yeah, she's 18, trust me. I go for it. No, it's a real alarm clock. It's not a camera. Shut up and do it. Anyway.
That's why I think my holiday idea is good,
Right, what was it again?
You give everybody a chance.
Yeah.
One day a year, you get to talk about everything, every wrong thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
That's been used against you. No punishments. No using it in attack ads.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. This is the time when it was supposed to, yes. That's a perfect idea. That's
day.
I do think it's a great idea. I always go straight to the worst thing nowadays, and I'm just picturing like people going like saying like a guy stands up, just a heinous looking guy with fucking warts and sweat marks on his shirt, and he just for 5 minutes unloads the worst shit you've ever heard in your life. Just the most heinous. It's like that scene. I want to give it. Oh man, it's a show, but it's a show I always tell people to watch, but I don't want to give it away. But and it's just like, it's just, if you know. But the point is, and he goes, hey, compromise day at the end of it. And you go, I guess we have to. I guess there has to be maybe you can only
only
admit.
If he's an elected official.
Right. Maybe you can only admit to a couple things at once.
Right. Yeah, you get one thing.
You get one thing. You can't just, because that would incentivize way too much dirty pool. Mm-hmm. Dirty Tim Pool, if you ask me. But
it's good because it incentivizes people to use the thing that they're getting a little heat over.
Right.
The thing that the spies are starting to, press them on.
Yeah.
You could just say that.
No, you could look. It'd be like, for instance, and like I don't want to make them. People, feminists are going to go after me.
You're going to hear some horrible stuff. Like
feminists are going to go after me for this. But but the guy gets up and goes, "Hey, look. It was my friend's bachelor party. Yeah, we had some drinks, a few party favors. We had a girl come over. She didn't make it through the night.
She didn't make it.
No one did. Nothing happened. No one's fault, really. But she didn't come out the other end. All right, so there's that. So are we going to vote on this bill, or what's the bill? We got a war? We're going to bomb Iran? What's the deal? Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good.
Look, it would require a huge cultural shift.
Sure. No, you have to hear. Look, that's the thing. This country is we're a weird combination of like that's the thing. We're so pious, right? Everyone likes to say America is such a religious country and a pious country, but we're like made up of all the people that like society's rejected. And you're going about I'm not talking about the current immigrants. But sure, right? Like I don't think they were thriving wherever they're coming from. The Pope's not coming here to live, right? Yeah. If someone's if you get to live in the Vatican Palace, you're not coming here. But the point is, you know, like everyone, whoever came here is just like is a scammer or a schemer. We've talked about this a lot. You know, the American dream is just, you know, getting over.
Yeah.
But we're also pious. We love to have this veneer of, you know, when something comes out, when Anthony Weiner's texting some girl, showing him his pecs and his arms and more, you know, we act like, oh, what did you do? But like, how many times can you do that and still not surprised?
Right.
So you're right. It'll be a because we love the pearl clutch. We should have a bunch of pearls on our flag, a pearl necklace. You know, right? The star should be pearls because we love clutching pearls in this country. Oh, what did you do? You disgraced the White House. You shoved a cigar in there. You know? I mean, it's not great.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty, honestly.
I don't love it. I mean, honestly, when I was young, when I was younger, I was less annoyed by it. I do understand being like, it's a little filthy. It's one look. Not your intern. You get over. You know, Kennedy was having like movie stars shipped into the White House. It's a different kind of problem. Whatever. I'm saying, you know, you're getting your intern involved, and people were mean about her, Monica Lewinsky. I thought she was pretty. You know, she's not going to be on the cover of the swimsuit issue. Maybe nowadays. You see that issue? Jesus Christ, what happened to that?
She's had a glow up.
That swimsuit issue used to be a lot of fun, right? That Sports Illustrated swimsuit. Now, I wouldn't bother.
Oh, I thought you were saying that Monica Lewinsky had gotten hotter. No, you're right.
Well, I think she had. I think
she's gotten a little bit hotter, and the standards have gotten a little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean, look, when Tom Green did that thing with her 20 years ago, I mean, it's been a while. I don't know if she probably met herself on the way down again. Whatever. It's not like now I'm dunking on her. That's how it goes. It's a little bit of hubris. I don't know. So should we go into Iran? What's your verdict?
I mean, I don't think we should go, but you know, sometimes like once Americans hear that there's a war, maybe that's going to happen. Right. They just start to get themselves hyped up for it, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
They really love the idea of war. And then they really don't hate the idea of anyone dying. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to minimize anyone dying, but for people who love war as much as us, I mean, how many people died in Iraq? Like 3,000, 5,000, maybe 8. I mean, compared to like all these wars we fought in the past, it was just a tiny amount. And people act like still like, oh my God, all these men dying. And yeah, you should. I get it. I'm just saying, like, for people who are as bloodthirsty as we are, and that's fine to be bloodthirsty. We don't have a stomach for it.
Right? Yeah, we get bad war hangovers. Like
yeah.
It's almost part of the fun. Like,
you know what it is? We got that Persian Gulf War, which is like a fake war. The first Iraq thing, where we went there and like, I mean, a lot of guys didn't even fire their weapons, and it was like Desert Shield, and it was a 1 week of Desert Storm, I think, and then it was just over, and we didn't even go after us. Like there was we didn't have to like hold it. It was just kind of like clean, right? And we were like, with the bet. I had the car. I had the can you Google the Desert Storm trading cards so we can find a picture? I had these things. I had fake dog tags. Not like I was a kid. I wasn't like trying to do stolen valor. They said like Operation Desert Storm or something. And it was like, are these yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. These. Look at these. I had it, they were fun. I mean, I liked them a lot. I even got some on eBay like 10 years ago, but I lost them. But that's not. You think anything's worth money? Nothing's worth money.
Was this actually like produced by the
I
military?
think Topps made it. No, I think Topps, like the people who make like baseball cards. Oh. Yeah, they got it on the war effort. I'm just saying, like we program people to think you can have clean wars, and like there's no such thing. But because we used to like go to war and like I don't know, 400,000 people were dying. We were like, oh man, it's rough.
Yeah. And
now, if that happened, we would invade the moon. This is an atrocity. 400. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We don't. It's a strange combination of like competing. It's conflicting tendencies.
Right.
Whatever. Wait a minute. What am I a philosopher? Am I gonna figure this out? Whatever. Go to war. Here's my thing. What do I get out of it? I gotta get something out of this. My tax dollar. I'm not trying to be the guy who's like, "Hey, cop, my tax dollars pay your salary." Maybe that's true to a certain extent. But the point is, But in the case of war, I think it is a big issue. The reason most of our tax dollars go to pay for the war machine, when every other country has healthcare. Oh, it doesn't work that way. It pretty much does. Shut up! It does. Yes, you know it does. Shut up.
Yeah, it's people love pulling that card. You can't just take from the military budget to pay for universal health care.
Every other country does. Every other country. I think. Well, you know what the difference is? Because there's no us to us.
Right.
Everyone else has us to pay for. I agree. Make them pay. Because everyone else has us to pay for. That's why you were able to do it. Maybe. All right. Well, but there's no us there for us. But also, my point is, I gotta get a little pee. I don't. It's always there's always guys with scurvy who tell you that. By the way, yeah, I gotta get the good health care there, and then literally they have like a green line going down the side of their leg. they have shrimp have that shit thing, the poop shoot thing.
Right.
They have that in their leg, and they're telling you how the health care in England's not good. But no, we should get a little dividend, a little war dividend, a little war booty, because people are making money. Don't get me. I've said this multiple times. Probably, I know. This is probably if you play Kump Bingo, you probably remember the times. Me saying Apocalypse Now, Gun Hand, and then bringing up how I just blanked. What was it?
I'm not sure.
War booty. No, just the.
What's in it for me?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, the point is, oh no, the trillion. How many trillions of dollars went missing during Iraq?
Oh right. Yeah.
Rumsfeld was like, "Oh, we can't account for $2 trillion or something," right before 9/11. But by the time 07 came around, or it was like $5 trillion or $8 trillion. People are like, "Oh, we just lost it." Well, no, you didn't lose it. I mean, you did, accounting wise. But I mean, that means that money got spent. Someone got that money, trillions of dollars. I want a little. Look, I get you can't break up billions for everybody. You can break up some trillions.
Right.
Trillions can go a long way. Get me a taste. It's my taste. I mean, why don't I get anything? If I fund a movie, I get a piece, right?
Yeah.
If I'm the backer of some stupid American Pie straight to video, American Pie Virgin Time, or whatever these movies are, these crude movies. People get someone they get made because someone puts money up, and then if enough guys buy that Virgin Time DVD, whatever it is, then the cash flow happens, and I get back my money plus a little extra. That's the game. That's capitalism, baby. So why not with war? Well, we're not doing that for war. Yeah, but we are. It's not bad. It will incentivize people. Why am I the only one we care about incentives for? Everyone else got bad incentives. Nancy Pelosi's making, double trading, what do you call it? Insider trading her entire career. You gonna sue me for slander? Or is it true, Nancy? Does she listen to this show? Probably not.
She should.
She should. If you know well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna. That people can misconstrue what I say. If anyone's going to have their words misconstrued, it's me. Let's be clear about that. But I mean, does that make me a war profiteer?
Yes, but in a sensible way. It's sensible.
Right. Well, I mean, so join the club. In this country, you're either a war profiteer or you're a sucker. And I'm a sucker right now. So are you. And most of you at home are suckers. I think
you should be able to make you were saying this about bills earlier that you should also be able to make weapons on spec, like new weapons.
Who should?
And if they're used to end a child's life in the Middle East.
But what's happening?
You can.
You're saying I should be able to be a weapons maker?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think I can. I don't think that's actually illegal. I think if I buy the equipment to melt, I don't know how you make guns. You melt something. You melt another gun and put it into a gun mold. But I think I'm allowed to make guns and stuff in the military. I just don't have the capital for that. You got, I don't have the pig iron molds or whatever the hell it takes to make machine guns. But yeah, I agree. Maybe there should be a program for that. Maybe there should be an Uber for gun manufacturing, or a Robinhood. Maybe Uber's the wrong analogy, but maybe that's an idea. An app where you can get together and get put in a pool with a bunch of other people and make weapons or fund weapons or fund a revolution somewhere. Right? Or fund a military. Maybe this is how I used to work in Rome. You used to basically like generals were like rich guys. I think most of the time they would just kind of raise an army and train them, and like they had to conform to the legion model, right? The Roman, wear uniforms and dance around with shields, whatever. Do the phalanx probably. The phalanx when they put their shields together.
Oh, is that what that's called? Yeah,
it's called a phalanx. It's the idea is you move together, and it's really hard to like attack you. I think cavalry is really good for that, though. If you get on a horse, you can kind of jump over and spear the guy. Again, they would just be.
I think honestly, subway riders should ride the subway like that.
With shields.
Yeah, just form that.
I'll just pass through. I can't. I mean, I need another obstacle. I mean, people can't move as it is. people move it. They already move as one, and just stay still. How many stabbers? I mean, a couple people got stabbed on the subway this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't think about it. Why do you live in the city? I don't know. Can I live in your farm? I'd like farm. I'd love to be on a farm. Can you relocate me into a rural situation? If not, shut your mouth. I would never live in the dirty city. You don't. Problem solved. Oh, man. But yeah, I think I should get a little action taste, a little tight action. Not tight, I mean, like money.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. What else we got? Anything else we got? This woman got off her crimes?
Yeah, a woman got off charges. Karen Reed hit her boyfriend with a car.
Well, she was accused of, right? That was the idea?
Yeah, whether or not she did it intentionally, I guess.
Wait, is this the case I was talking about where the cops were the ones who did it?
That was one of the theories about it, yeah.
Okay, I don't know. What is this? Please, I don't know anything about this then.
I'm not sure either. Okay. I'm not sure. I shouldn't have pulled this up because it's actually.
Yeah, this is the one everyone on Twitter was saying. I don't know if it's true, but on Twitter it was saying that a bunch of cops got together and like killed their friend, whether it was by mistake or a fellow cop, and they tried to pin on her.
That was definitely like I think one of the possibilities.
That's the problem with Twitter. It's like I hear that and it's like that's what happened. It's as if that came out in trial, but apparently it's only like one theoretical possibility.
Right.
This is the problem with social media. I was ready to be like those dirty cops, and maybe it was just an Uber driver. So what happened? Her husband is dead though, right? That's not made up.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
And he was a cop.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Was she like a big national story?
Yeah, it was in the news for a while.
Oh, well, good for her.
Jurors found Reed not guilty of murder, manslaughter, and fleeing a deadly accident.
Is anyone saying that she got away with murder?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Quite a few people.
Who's saying that?
I mean, just folks.
There's always going to be
think that she's got an evil light in her eyes.
She seems fine. Everyone, like, what country?
I do think that there are certain situations where, like, this probably shouldn't be people love to do this no matter what the circumstances of their trial was. Like, like do a little hand gesture, like, I'm free.
Well, whatever.
If you didn't kill your boyfriend, you probably, you should still look sad that he's dead.
I think it was years ago. I think if your boyfriend got killed and you were charged with it, no, I don't know. I think if your husband, maybe.
I'm just saying, just try to look sad for the cameras. I
think she's already been acquitted. Double jeopardy. I know enough of that. I am not. Look, honestly, I think you're kind of ignoring how heinous it is to be charged with a crime you didn't do. And like and I think there was 2 trials.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I would give the little devil sign too. I mean, I would pretend I did it. I would say I did it. I got away with it, you bastards. You filthy bastards.
If I did it too, by carrying Reed.
Yeah, I would pull an OJ immediately. I mean, I don't know. People got to stop trying to gumshoe. This rat culture we live in.
Right.
Enough being rats. What are you getting out of this?
It always boils down to people just like overreading like body language too.
Oh, these body language experts were there. Oh, he's doing a double fig leaf, whatever the hell. These people go to hell. These body language experts. These what's the other ones? Whatever. These like I read people. I bet you read my ass. Prick. I am so sick of these. It's just grift city, left and right. I mean, at least war grifters are like, getting something done. These body language experts. we should do something with the body language experts. I should start my own body language channel. I should just try to convince people that they're like, you're just accuse them of crimes. I can tell by the way your legs are folded that your kids are. You've done things to your kids. Horrible things. I'll be very coy about it too. What do you mean? I'm just reading your knees. But what are you saying I did to your kids? I mean something bad, some of the worst things. Some of the worst things. I mean, it would make for great. The problem with us is that we have too much. I mean, I don't think of myself as someone with integrity, but I wouldn't do what I'm describing. At least not yet. And then, so whatever you want to call that. If you don't want to call that integrity, not accusing people of horrible sex crimes, then whatever you want to call it, I need to get rid of that so we can get that sweet moolah. Just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up with your ankles? Your ankles are all. Your ankles mean you're cheating your wife with your son. Terrible. You shouldn't cheat on your wife with your son, but you did, and your ankles gave it away.
We can have a book, a shelf of fake books you've written.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Yeah, the ankles are the windows to the hole. Sweet home. I don't know. What's a body thing? Give me some kind of name.
The dimples of a killer.
Yeah, there you go. The dimples of a killer. Sweet Caroline died because you're fig leaf. I love doing the fig leaf thing. The whole thing with it, where they put it on paintings, the nude paintings of a fig leaf to cover it up. And so when you put like people, I guess they probably argue like, well, if you cover your genitals, it means you're lying. if you're folding your legs, it means you're afraid your genitals being exposed, which means you bite genitals because everyone protects what they do. Something like that. I don't know. I'm shots fired at anonymous people. I can't remember their names. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
And remember we have a. Subscribe to the show, just hit the subscribe, the notification bell. Patreon.com/RayCump. You get extra episode every week, $5 a month. These things are all options. Also, Iran's an option. I guess. We'll see what happens next week. Have a great week.